Hello again, everyone out there on YouTube. So, as you've seen in my video that I did immediately before this one, I mentioned that just yesterday I bought an entire comic book collection. I'm now going to go into detail about it. So, yesterday morning I was looking through on Facebook Marketplace and I noticed this gentleman, I won't say his name, had his entire 80s and 90s comic book collection on there for sale. And it was asking for £120 for the lot. So I thought, and when I looked through and I saw some of the books that were in there, I thought, that's a good price. And so I spoke to my other half, my partner, and I said, I asked my partner, I said to her, I said, this is quite a good deal. Do you think I could go for this? And she went, just go for it. If it makes you happy, go for it. So I went for it, but actually, by miracle, I originally managed to talk the guy down to 100. So I mentioned, I said, okay, I'd love to buy these comic books off you, hold on, but would you take 100? And he said, yeah, no problem. But then he mentioned to me they had a couple of special foil edition books, which are in this collection. And I said, okay. Well, actually, I didn't mention, actually, I didn't know. Actually, I only knew about one. Sorry. He didn't mention they had a particular foil book. I believe it's quite hard to find. And I said to him, showing some of the pictures and said, are you interested? I said, actually, yes, I am. How much? He said, I'll do you 30 for that one. Because he was selling that one separately to the collection. I said, I'll do you 30 for that one. And he mentioned that he'd seen copies of it, graded copies of it, going for anywhere between 60 to about £80 on, I think it was eBay. So, or online, he said. So I thought, well, he's taken the bottom end of that, sliced it in half. So I thought, yeah, okay, I'll do it. So £130 all in. Have the collection next to me. It's quite large. It's about 100. Considering that 3 of them, after I got it last time, went through it. Then I even offered to go out because he lives local to where I live. I said, I'll come and get them. I'll come on the bus with my partner. And he said, look, I know the buses are on over. The buses coming over on a Sunday, mate. As you live so I said, look, I know the bus is coming over on a Sunday, mate, and as you live so locally, I'm going to the gym in your area today anyway. I'll drop them off on my way. So we did. Bless him. So here we go. So starting off first with because there were several different books of several different characters, and then at the top of the pile I have all the X-Men books. Starting off with Wolverine. I didn't get nice numbers, did I? So taking out the 3 that I tried through, there were doubles. There's about 136 all in all we've got to go through now. So let's go. Starting off with the X-Men books. Wolverine 96. I'd never actually seen or heard of this one before, but glad to have it in the collection, and we'll be giving it a read at some point soon. Next up, we have from the main Wolverine line, Wolverine number 106. Actually, quite like that cover. Okay, then we have quite a nice little chunk of Uncanny X-Men books here. We have Uncanny X-Men 170. So if you can see me looking up at any point, it's because I've got notes up there about. There are 8 key issues in this collection, so that's why I keep looking up there. I keep looking up there at time just to make sure that it's not one of the key issues. Uncanny X-Men 190. 190 is one I've already covered. 190 is one I've had in my collection for ages. 170. Uncanny X-Men number 220. Whoop. Uncanny X-Men 231. Uncanny X-Men 240. So there's obviously there are some gaps here, but we're going to try and fill those over time. The Uncanny X-Men 248. I should also point out all the bags and boards you see that these comic books are in are mine. Because when I got them yesterday, that's Uncanny X-Men 248. When I got the collection yesterday, none of it was bagged and boarded, which you think, which you wouldn't really believe when you see the condition of some of these books. But they're all on bagged and boarded, so I put them all into some spare bags and boards that I had. what was it? 248. Uncanny X-Men 249. Oh, okay, cool. Uncanny X-Men 255. I love me some X-Men, I really do. Then we have, try to keep things next to me nice and straight, Uncanny X-Men 260. Again, I love this kind of blood red cover almost. Uncanny X-Men 263. Uncanny X-Men 271. And yes, I did spend nearly all of last night going through these and putting them into first publication, into categorising them by both publication. Well, first of all I sorted them by character, then by publication, then into numerical order. As you know, is common with me. So, if you watch my videos, you know that's quite a common thing with me. So anyway, Uncanny X-Men 274. I think that's Cable, isn't it, I think? Oh no, it's Nick Fury. Sorry, it's not Cable, it's Nick Fury. I didn't even appear to the X-Men books. Then we have Uncanny X-Men number 275. No, 274, 275. There you go, 275. Suddenly this is a Eagle Awards winner from 1990. It's a giant-sized 275th issue. The gold writing. Wolverine. Actually, Wolverine appears on the cover of this next one as well. Uncanny X-Men number 276. Uncanny X-Men 279. Uncanny X-Men 331. I had to think then, because this one doesn't actually have the number on the cover, which is unusual. So yes, 331. Then we have the last of the Uncanny X-Men ones. We have the Uncanny X-Men Annual number 17. This is the first one I have to refer to my notes for. This is the first appearance. Sorry, here it is. This is the first appearance of Executioner. So yes, this is the first appearance of the Executioner. So there you go. And then I have a couple of books from the series from the 90s, which is called X-Men. So we have X-Men 21, which was literally the 1990 series, which is called X-Men. They dropped the Uncanny and they just called it X-Men. Then I have X-Men 21. Oh, they follow all in order. And X-Men 22. Well, see, I probably have to turn it on its side. But then I have a couple of the classic X-Men books. We have Classic X-Men 21. I'm assuming that's Conan there on the front. And Classic X-Men 24. Still on the X-Men theme, we have some of the New Mutants books, which help me fill in some of the gaps in my collection, obviously. The New Mutants number 67. New Mutants number 70. New Mutants number 71. Which this book, incredibly, and I can't explain as to why, but this one issue alone, according to my app, in this condition, which is really nice, is worth about £160 on its own. Just this one comic book. If anybody out there knows why, please let me know, because my app didn't even say that it was a key issue, it just said it was worth about £160 on its own. Shocking amount of money. New Mutants number 85. New Mutants number 88. Now that's Cable. I know. Do you know what? I know. The reason I'm saying I know under my breath because I just suddenly realised something I was going to tell you is that I got 85 here. And I think may have been Cable's first cameo appearance. Do correct me on that if I'm wrong. But I was just one book away from 86. Oh, how annoying. And I thought, oh good. And I thought, please 86 be here, please 86 be here. So I saw them in numerical order. And it jumped from 85, the guy jumped straight from 85 to 88. So either he didn't have 86, or he did have it, but knew how much it was actually worth, and so separated it from the collection. New Mutants number 90. New Mutants number 91. Again, when I got to the 90s, I thought, oh, let 98 be here. Let me go my hands on a first Deadpool for a shockingly, good price. Not a hope in hell. Number 91. Still on the X-Men theme. We have some of the X-Factor books. I gotta keep my eyes on here. Oh, and this first one up here actually. X-Factor number 19. Actually, there's two. X-Factor number 19 from 1987 is the first appearance of the Horsemen of Apocalypse. There you go. First appearance of the Horsemen of Apocalypse. Then we have X-Factor number 20. X-Factor number 25. Sorry, number 25. X-Factor number 31. Number 31. It's quite a suggestive image for a comic book. But the Comics Code Authority gave it their stamp of approval, so it obviously passed. X-Factor number 33. Yeah, 33. I'm assuming that's Beast there on the cover. X-Factor number 34. X-Factor number 39. X-Factor number 53. Here comes my second X-Factor key issue. So two of the key issues of this collection were in X-Factor. Here's one of them. There's the other one. But just we've seen number 90. Here's number 54. X-Factor number 54 from 1990 again. And this is the first appearance of Crimson. Unfortunately, I don't actually know whether I know I've already got some of these, so I'm wondering if I've already got, because she first appeared in this one, and then they killed her off in X-Factor issue 58. So I'm wondering if I've got that one already in my box. I have to go back over my old videos and see where the X-Factor ones are, just so I can remind myself. Yeah, 54, first appearance of Crimson, and I've got that because it says introducing, which all of these things tend to do for introducing, but that doesn't always follow. So, introducing. First appearance of Crimson. We then have X Factor number 55. Good thing I like X-Men, because apparently so is this guy, because we're still on X-Men. X Factor number 56, that's the last of the X Factor ones. Still on the X-Men theme though. Can I point out, so far, we've gone through that many, and they're all just X-Men. I promise you, this is more than just X-Men, I promise you. We have Marvel Comics presents Wolverine number 50. Spider-Man also on the cover, so you can see why I put those in with the X-Men books. Marvel Comics presents Wolverine. Marvel Comics presents number 66 with Wolverine and Ghost Rider. Again, that's why it's in with the X-Men books, because it's Wolverine is the biggest name on the cover. We then have a couple of issues of a book I'd never heard of actually from the X-Men line. Generation X. This is issue 13, I believe, if I've got that right. Yeah, it says down there, number 13. So yeah, number 13, Generation X. Never heard of these books before, so I love about this collections. I actually got some books that I didn't even know existed. Like the Wolverine 96, like these ones here. And then this is Generation X number 22. So I think we're going to be a while now before we see the next key issue, sadly. We have Excalibur, number 94. Again, the numbers down here are not appeared. It's throwing me off. Excalibur number 94. Days of Future Tense. Kind of play on Days of Future Past, I guess. And Excalibur number 95. Hope you survive the experience. Enter X-Man. This didn't come up as his first appearance. So I'm going to assume... Well, look, I think I've got his first appearance up there, but yeah. I can already see I've actually got another comic book up there listed as his first appearance. So, Excalibur number 95. It says Enter X-Man. That's one of those exceptions where it says Enter X-Man on the front of the site. You're like, oh, was that the first appearance? No. Although maybe I should have doubly researched that, actually. Anyway, then we have a few issues of a book called, another X-Men book I didn't know existed, called X-Men Unlimited. Starting with X-Men Unlimited number 2. X-Men Unlimited number 10. Again, it's down in the barcode box and not at the top. Why they do that to me, I don't know. And X-Men Unlimited number 12. I should find the number back at the top. Then we have, again, another X-Men book I didn't know existed, but X-Men Onslaught number 1. We then have Wolverine minus Flashback Wolverine -1. I promise you, we're nearly the end of the X-Men books. Then we have Professor Xavier and the X-Men number 5. Only 99 cents. Woohoo! And then we have X-Men Archives number 3. Archives? Yeah, number 3. X-Men Archives number 3. Starring, featuring Captain Britain. And the last of the X-Men books, until there's one more, but that's not until much later on. X-Force number 26. Oh dear, the bag and board's popping open. That's never a good thing. Excuse me a second. Yep. Now moving on to Iron Man. Iron Man number 180. Sadly no Iron Man keys, but yeah, can't win them all. Iron Man 235. Iron Man 239. Iron Man 240. Iron Man 245. I didn't say 3 then. That's wrong. Iron Man 251. Iron Man 252. Iron Man 256. That's the last of the Iron Man books, and now, just a bit of drink. Now we move on to the Spider-Man books. And this is where we're going to see another one of our key issues pop up. You'll know when we get there, because I will immediately get quite excited about it. So we have The Amazing Spider-Man 291. The Amazing Spider-Man 319. 319? 319. Excuse me. The Amazing Spider-Man 320. So another exception to the rule. So it says here, enter the man called Paladin. Have gun, will kill. So I thought, scan in, it's going to come up as a first appearance. Nope. Didn't come up. It didn't come up as a first appearance at all. So I thought I'm going to research this. Turns out Paladin his first appearance was in Daredevil number 150. So why they've got enter the man called Paladin, which is just a big trick. We think, oh, you know. Anyway, Amazing Spider-Man number 320. 320? I did get that right, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Amazing Spider-Man number 331. Love this cover. It's a complete mess, but I love it. Punisher down there, Venom up there. Amazing Spider-Man 335. Now this next Amazing Spider-Man book is the key issue, and I do have to admit to you that when I first saw this collection, when I first bought this collection, is it this one? Please be this one, otherwise I've got it wrong. No, it is this one. First of all, this collection, I thought, please, when I saw the Amazing Spider-Man books, I thought, please, just let there be just one ASM key, Amazing Spider-Man, ASM, Amazing Spider-Man key in there. Even if it's one of the big ones, which it wasn't going to be, but please just let there be one. And there is, and there was, and here it is. The Amazing Spider-Man number 340 from 1990, and it is the first appearance of the Femme Fatales. Yes. Which I believe are an all-female villain group. Yeah. There it is. Amazing Spider-Man 340, the first appearance of the Femme Fatales. Probably an extremely minor key, but a key issue nonetheless. So I can finally now say I have an Amazing Spider-Man key issue in my collection. I then have a couple of issues of the Spectacular Spider-Man in this collection. The Spectacular Spider-Man 169. Ooh, excuse my eye. Spectacular Spider-Man number 147. Spider-Man and J. Jonah Jameson fighting side by side. I have to admit that when I first looked at this collection on Vessel Marketplace, this was one of the covers that immediately drew me in and made me go, I want to buy this collection. It's not a key issue, and I don't mind. I just love the cover because I love the villain. My third favourite Spider-Man villain. My third or second? I'm going to go third. Doc Ock, the Spectacular Spider-Man, number 173. And guess who's dropped by for the holidays? Another single yellow box of fun here that says, warning, events in this issue will lead to major developments harmful to Peter Parker's life. Love that cover. Whoops. Do it once here. We then have my one issue of Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. Just Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, number 129. This was a completely separate book. This was not part of the Spectacular Spider-Man line. Not at all. These were two separate entities. So that's why I've got them separated. So there you go. And of course he's in the black suit. Yes. I then have a few copies of next in this session. I have a few copies of Web of Spider-Man. So we have Web of Spider-Man number 38. Return of the Hobgoblin. I only have a Hobgoblin story in my collection. Web of Spider-Man number 45. I don't know who this is. Now I love this next cover. Web of Spider-Man number 52. It says here, J. Jonah Jameson captured by the comedian. Can I start that again? J. Jonah Jameson captured by the chameleon. But does anybody notice? I'm the bloody comedian at this point, getting that wrong. So yes, this does seem to be a story that features the chameleon, whose first appearance had his first appearance way back in the Amazing Spider-Man number 1. But here he is in Web of Spider-Man. I'm just glad they reused him. Because he was such a quite interesting villain, I seem to remember. So yes, J. Jonah Jameson captured by the chameleon. But does anybody notice? That's Web of Spider. If you're interested, that is Web of Spider-Man 52. If you want to go look for that, because it is a great cover. Great cover. I love how one of the images of J, just to be completely honest, just to really stick it to old JJJ, one of the images he actually has Spider-Man's face over his own face. There you go. The last of the Web of Spider-Man ones is Web of Spider-Man number 129. So it looks like we've got Ben Reilly in this one, the Scarlet Spider. Next up we have Marvel Tales featuring Spider-Man, starring Spider-Man, number 165. Bring Back My Goblin to Me. These are obviously reprints of older Spider-Man stories, so I believe this one, if I've got it right, if I remember from looking on the inside, is a reprint of Spider-Man 27. Amazing Spider-Man 27. We then have Marvel Tales starring Spider-Man and Captain Britain, trapped in Murder World. We then have a couple of Marvel Tales ones, which again are reprints of these. I'm still Marvel. What am I talking about? I'm still on Marvel Tales. Sorry. The last of the Marvel Tales ones I was Marvel Tales featuring Spider-Man number 239, which appears. Which is something we think for me here, because we have two things here. We have Beast on the front cover, who I love, one of my favourite X-Men characters, but also right down there, Todd McFarlane cover. If that exactly clearly says McFarlane, so I think this is a Todd McFarlane cover, which means I finally have acquired a sort of semi-grail of mine, which is to own a Todd McFarlane, which is to own a Spider-Man book, any Spider-Man book, with a Todd McFarlane cover on it. That's a Todd McFarlane cover. And there we are. I just love the way he draws Spider-Man. So talking of Todd McFarlane, he's going to pop up again in this collection a bit later on. Oh yes, there we go. We then have a couple of Marvel team-ups. We have Marvel Team-Up number 130, Spider-Man and the Scarlet Witch. By My Friends Betrayed, this one is called. A guest starring The Vision, by the way. So yes, Vision is also in this. And then the last of the Spider-Man books, I believe. Yep. Okay, so we're going into a weird order now. Anyway, Marvel Team-Up, Marvel Team-Up number 140, Spider-Man and the Black Widow. And so that now basically kind of accomplishes saying I wanted to get this one comic book featuring each of the Avengers in the original, 6 Avengers in the original movie, there. And remember I was saying, I remember in one of my previous videos I showed you my Black Widow and Hawkeye books that I got, which was just for Black Widow and Hawkeye. Well, I can now confirm that I'm no longer cheating because there she is, on her own. Okay, she's with Spider-Man, but it's still just Black Widow. So she's separate from the rest. These were actually supposed to be on the bottom. We're now going into the random. We're now going to what I like to call the random odds and sods. Starting with this one, which is the one I spoke about earlier, the Special X-Men book, the one that I paid £30 for, which is X-Men Alpha number 1 from. I don't know, a couple of the year down, did I? That was silly of me, but never mind. X-Men Alpha number 1, foil cover. Oh yeah, and this is the first appearance of X-Man, Dark Beast, Blink, and Holocaust. So, X-Man, Dark Beast, Blink, Holocaust all have their first appearances in this book. This is something of a kind of big key. So this would be, I believe, would be something of a kind of a big key, because it's like the first appearance of like 4 different characters. So that's kind of cool. It's like a big book, big multiple first appearance there. Nice. And then this, actually, there's another foil book in there that he hadn't pointed out to me. And that is 2099, for fuck's sake. Sorry, for goodness sakes. 2099 AD Genesis, number 1. And this is the first appearance of Dust, Daredevil Eric Nelson, and Frank Wilson. Those are the only 3 characters of note I can think of that have their first appearances in this book. Well, there were the only 3 characters I could find during my research. So there you go. Well, that's actually a nice sort of shiny gold one there. I think that leaves only 2, both of which are still to come. So I told you Tom McFarlane would be coming up, and he is now. So I'm now actually I guess I'm the product of two issues of Spawn, neither of which is number 1, sadly. But we have Spawn number 50. I'm sorry, that's not a 50 at all. That's Spawn number 40. I'm a book ahead of myself. Spawn number 40 is the first one. I got so excited to be showing you Spawn. Spawn number 40. And I do also have, I didn't just come up with 50 out of nowhere, Spawn number 50. I've also got in this collection a couple of issues of Transformers, the official movie adaptation. This is issue 3. These are published by neither Marvel nor DC. They're published by a company called IDW. So, and then, bizarrely enough, this guy was quite good at this, it seems. Transformers the official movie sorry, that's the official movie adaptation. This is Transformers the official movie sequel, issue 4. The Reign of Starscream. Okay, I never spotted that. Glad I did now, though. I then have a single issue of, I'm assuming this was a British book, originally, but it's called, but it's by Marvel, The Knights of Pendragon, number 1. It says there, Brands and Ashes. Knights of Pendragon #1. Not sure how many issues of that there were. I can't imagine there were too many with a subject matter like that, but yeah. And then I have a couple of issues of a book called another Marvel book here called Darkhold. It says Darkhold #12. There's a character called Modred, who I can only assume is Modred the Mystic, whose first appearance the character who I actually own the first appearance of. So, yeah. That's the #12. We then have, strangely, Darkhold #15. It's actually subtitled Pages from the Book of Sins. Okay, #15. I'm trying to angle this because the cover's going to have a wheel. There you go. You can't really see the front cover. It's got a proper light on it. But yeah, #15. And Darkhold, Pages from the Book of Sins, #16. This one is one of those funny covers. You can actually see that one, no problem. Then I finally have an issue of Ghost Rider in my collection. Ghost Rider #68. We're also with Wolverine and Gambit on the cover. I have the New Defenders #133. Then we have the Secret Defenders #8. We have Doctor Strange, Captain America, Spider-Man, Scarlet Witch. They're all on the front cover. And then this is one of those books I've heard of. This is called Nova the Human Rocket, #11. And it says The Thing and She-Hulk and Ant-Man join Nova the Human Rocket. And then it asks the question, could this be the new Fantastic Four? However, there's a couple of characters here that aren't mentioned on the front cover at all. And there are a couple of characters on the front cover that aren't mentioned in this list, and they are Doctor Doom and the Hulk. The actual Hulk, the Incredible Hulk. Yeah, #11 of that. Everybody first of all, I think it was just called The Man They Call Nova. Nancy Lee's Nova the Human Rocket. Then we have a couple of issues of, and now I'm no longer treated with Hawkeye either, because thankfully in this guy's collection he had a couple of issues of this. Solo Avengers starring Hawkeye #18. So there you go, I've got a couple of standalone Hawkeye books now as well. And, did I say 18? I did, good. And Solo Adventures starring Hawkeye and Moondragon #20. It's mainly Hawkeye. Then we have some Avengers books. So we have, checking out these. Sorry. No, okay. Avengers #308. Avengers #318. It says there, guest starring the Amazing Spider-Man. And this is the only book I now have. I now finally have a book with Nebula in it. Nebula, of course, was played by Karen Gillan in the Avengers movies. And wasn't she brilliant? So, yeah, we have some West Coast Avengers books. This guy was keen on these. West Coast Avengers #23. West Coast Avengers, the West Coast Avengers #40. Then it switches to Avengers West Coast #57. Avengers West Coast #59. Avengers West Coast number 60. Avengers West Coast. Oh, sorry. This is Avengers Spotlight, different publication. Avengers Spotlight number 28. Featuring Hawkeye. And Avengers Spotlight starring Hawkeye number 32. There are a couple of issues of another book I never heard of called Speedball the Masked Marvel, and the guy had number 9. Speedball the Masked Marvel number 9, and then Speedball the Masked Marvel number 10, and this appears to be a bit of a sad issue because it says here, don't miss the final issue of Speedball the Masked Marvel. So I'm assuming it only ran for 10 issues and then they canned it. Obviously either it didn't do very well, or maybe that was the plan from the beginning. I don't know. But number 10, final issue of Speedball the Masked Marvel. So I actually had the last 2 issues of that. And then the guy randomly had in this collection one Star Trek comic, Star Trek Voyager number 2. Random to have one Star Trek comic. And then one issue of this one, which is the Cosmic Avenger Quasar number 11, guest starring Excalibur. And then lastly, for this sort of like all the odds and sods ones, we have another Marvel book, and there's only one of these, and I've never heard of this book before either. Nth Man number 12. And then now we're into the Captain America books. So we have Captain America 344. Yeah, 344. Captain America 346. Captain America 348. Captain America 349. Captain America 351. Yeah, 51. Captain America 381. Captain America 365. Yeah. Captain America 369. Captain America 372. And so another thing that kind of allowed me to this guy's collection was he had some Fantastic Four. And as anyone who's watched... Okay, good, I call them. As anyone who's watched my previous videos will be able to tell you, I love me some Fantastic Four. So, we have Fantastic Four number 250. Fantastic Four number 268. Fantastic Four number 317. Fantastic Four number 320. Fantastic Four number 323. Wait, come back. Fantastic Four number 335. Fantastic Four number 341. So yeah, glad to have those in the collection. Then next up, we have some Conan the Barbarian. So we have Conan the Barbarian 149. Conan the Barbarian 152. Conan the Barbarian 168. Conan the Barbarian 217. And finally, the last of the Conan, well, not finally, because there's still quite a few more to go, but the last of the Conan ones is Conan the Barbarian 232. We have, I think there's 3 issues of Daredevil. We have Daredevil 263. Daredevil 266. And Daredevil 351. Then have 2 issues of The Punisher. We have The Punisher 13. And The Punisher 33. Now we get into the Incredible Hulk books. We have Incredible Hulk 352. Incredible Hulk 357. Incredible Hulk 360. Incredible Hulk 364. The Incredible Hulk 369. The Incredible Hulk 370. The Incredible Hulk 371. And then I saw this one and I thought, this is another Incredible Hulk book. And it's actually quite a big key, to be honest, quite a big key. Because I looked at this and I thought, I know this book. As soon as I joined the collection, I thought, I recognise this book, I've seen this book before, I swear I've seen it in a couple of videos I watched on comic book key issues. When I scanned into my app and did my research, yeah, I had. It was instant. I remembered exactly why I saw it, just recognised it so instantly. And it's because it's called, it's Incredible Hulk number 377. And of course, Incredible Hulk number 377 is the first appearance of Professor Hulk. And this was one of those books that I thought, I'm never going to own that. Here it is. Incredible Hulk number 377, first appearance of Professor Hulk. There you go. can't believe I own that one. So proud to own that one, I can't believe it. The Incredible Hulk number 438. 438? Yeah, 438. Forgive me for that, I was just looking at something that was quite curious. Incredible Hulk number 455. The Incredible Hulk number 448. The last of the Incredible Hulk ones here. Dear me, hold on, sorry, that bags. Get it over and done with quickly. The Incredible Hulk number 465. Now we go on to, now I'm going to pull this up and put it to my side because it's not very many left here. I think this might just be, this is the last few, the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now you're all thinking, hang on a minute, this guy's had a serious lack of DC in his collection. You'd be right, there was a serious lack of DC. These last 5 books are all DC, and they're the only DC books that there are in this entire collection. So we have, so for the DC representation in this, that's all Marvel. So for the DC representation in this collection, this guy's collection, we have The Adventures of Superman number 453. They're all quite random ones, to be honest. Then we have the New Teen Titans issue 66. I couldn't find anything discerning about this one. I guess I'll have to give it a read. Then we have Firestorm, number 84. I've got to double check something here. Then we have Starman, number 9. Sorry, Starman number 3. Sorry. Starman number 3. I said number 9 because I looked at my notes. Number 9's over there for a reason. Starman number 3. Then we have Starman number 9, guest starring Batman. And Starman number 9, this book right here, is the first appearance of Blockbuster. I believe, I can't remember my mind sometimes, I believe that says Roland Desmond. Roland Desmond, something like that. But yes. And that's it. That's the last one. Starman number 9, first appearance of Blockbuster, Roland Desmond. Excuse me. So, what does the future of this channel, excuse me, now look like going forward from here? Well, I can now confirm that this will be the last sort of comic book haul / new editions to my comic book collection type video that you see from me for a while, because, come on, I've just bought a whole ass collection. At quite a, a staggering price. So, what's the future look for going forward? Well, I'm not going to bother getting the notes because they're all over there for this bit, but I crunched the numbers. Yesterday when I was looking at this collection, I decided to, I was kind of trying to help my partner slightly understand where and how this collection would then be used. I crunched some numbers. And I realised after crunching the numbers that with all the books with the number of books I now have, which is, I believe, the last count, it's 853. Yeah, that's a lot. But that number of books, I was dividing up by week, by year, I'm actually, if I was to do, say, 1 or 2 videos a week, review videos per week for the next few years, I would have enough books to keep me going with content for this channel for just over 3 years. limiting it to just 1 or 2 videos per week, I've got either just under or just over 3 years worth of content. So the content I'm trying to go for is basically going to be me attempting something. I can't believe I'm going to be saying this. But over the course of the next 3 years, because I've given myself that target, I'm going to try and attempt to read and review every single comic book I own. Oh yeah. And however, I will not, and I've decided to do it that way because, as you'll know if you saw not my last video, but the video I did last Sunday, I put a vote out to you, the viewers, with 3 different books I was thinking of reviewing first, and unfortunately that video has got some views, a good number of views, but not one of the people, sadly, unfortunately not one of the people who watched it felt able to comment and contribute to that vote. So if I was ever going to put a vote out again, I would probably do it either on my Instagram or my TikTok. But you wouldn't know about it until I put it up. But it would probably be my TikTok. So if you're watching me here and if you're watching me here and on TikTok, keep your eyes out over there. That's only if. However, as for the foreseeable, it will just be me sitting in front of the camera once or twice a week reviewing my comic books, because I'm not going to try and read and review all the comic books that I own. Just for any of you who are interested in what the doubles were, because I mentioned there were some 3 duplicates that I found in that collection. For any of you that were interested, the duplicates were, or are, these, by the way, these are not for sale. Don't think I'm just going to show you these because tomorrow I'm going to be giving these probably to a charity shop. I'm just that kind-hearted. I don't sell my comic books on because I don't buy comic books for an investment. I buy them to read them. I don't get into comic book collecting as an investment. I go into comic book collecting because I like reading comic books. Simple. So, and when I say every comic book I own, yes, I am including the large form, large-sized magazine-sized comic books in that as well. Along with all of the issues of Doctor Who Adventures and the Star Trek Next Generation magazines I own as well. I'm literally including all of it. And all those issues of the Rover. So, yeah, but anyway, so I said these 3 issues of my show are not for sale. They are going straight to a charity shop tomorrow. Tomorrow when I go into my local town, because basically I'm one of my kind-hearted person, and 2, I don't buy comic books for investment. I buy them to read because I like them, and obviously also because it gives me something to do. Basically, comics is my hobby, and not only do I love reading comic books and looking at them, but it also gives me content for YouTube. But mainly I buy them because I love reading them. So the 3 duplicates I found were Thor number 4, and because they were duplicates, I haven't bagged and boarded them. Purely because they're duplicates, I didn't see any reason to bag and board them. Thor number 418 is already in my collection. This was the first time I showed this channel. I can finally show you what it looks like on the back. So I'm going to show you so the advert on the back of this one is what I'm assuming is a rule book for some kind of Dungeons and Dragons game. But there you go. That's what the back of Thor number 418, the Mighty Thor number 418 looks like. So Thor number 418 is a duplicate. The second duplicate was, and I recognise this instantly because of the wording on the front, the wording being Dr. Pym Must Die. Can I give you a clue what the book is yet? I'll give you a couple of seconds to guess. Dr. Pym Must Die. Which comic book is that written on the front of? Okay, I'll now reveal the answer to you. It is in fact the West Coast Avengers number 36. On the back of which, rather amazingly, is an advert for I believe it's the NES game Metal Gear. With, handguns and rocket launchers and goodness knows what else. And the third and final duplicate, which I recognised immediately because I saw this one bagged and boarded in my collection, is, well, I don't think mine says Flashback, although it might do. Flashback, The Incredible Hulk -1. There it is. And this is a Mega Nacho tank. Oh, I got it. It's an advert for Cheetos. Love Cheetos. So, yeah, that's the 3 duplicates I found. Although I'm actually going to have to go... No, I didn't get rid of it, did I? No, I have still got that one in my collection. Sorry, I was just double dating myself. So those are the 3 duplicates I found. As I say, the duplicates are not for sale. They are going to a charity shop first thing tomorrow morning. Probably be at the same charity shop where I put my other ones, my other duplicates I had, which I won't go into here, but I did some other duplicates, and so and of course they weren't worth very much money, as those probably aren't, as those aren't really, and as I said, I didn't get into comic books for the money. I got to it because I love these things. I love looking at them, I love reading them, and pretty soon I'm going to love reviewing them. So yeah, so let's go to a charity shop tomorrow morning. And when I say every comic book I own, so when I say I'm going to be reading every comic book I own, I'm including all of the single issues of this size, all of my large form or comic book size magazines, magazine size comic books, all of, which includes the Spider-Man Weekly, I think they're called, Spider-Man Weekly Comics or something like that, Spider-Man Comics Weekly ones, all of the issues of the Rover that I have, all of the issues of Doctor Who Adventures I have, all of the Star Trek The Next Generation magazines that I have, and also, yes, that does also include all of my collected editions. Oh yeah. Now the collected editions, I'm not sure whether to do those, literally read the whole collected edition and then review it all at once, or review each issue individually. That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? If I do each, because then I just thought, so I just realised, people, viewers, if you're still watching this, if I was to take a collected edition and review each issue in it individually, that then give me content for that would mean I'd have content set and ready to go for nearly 4 years. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Because I've got a memory like a sieve, and I would just forget. Gone. But there's a little secret extra for those of you that have made it this far into the video. I'm going to be giving you a quick review now. I'm now going to give you a special reveal. The first comic book, because I've already read it, the first comic that I'm going to review somewhere in the next few days is going to be Batman, number 421 from 1988. And it is titled Elmore's Lady. It's got a very distinctive front cover. So keep an eye for that coming up in the next few days. That's the first one I'm going to be reviewing because it's the one that's fresh in my mind and I've just read it. I'm also going to be kind of a double review because I'm also going to be reviewing its immediate, then they come immediately after that, 422, because they actually form a 2-part story. So, yeah. I mean, I could just do 428 now, sorry, 421 now and then do 422 in the video, but I've already been waffling on you for an hour now. Aren't you glad I didn't do both sets of comic books in one video? Because this would now be like 1 hour, 15 minutes long, something crazy like that. Because it was 7 minutes the first one I did. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling now. Just know that review, Batman 421 and 422 from 1988, Elmore's Lady and Just Desserts, which are the titles of the 2 issues individually, are coming soon. They're going to be in one video, so yep. They'll be coming soon. So until then, thank you very much for watching. Until then, yeah, thank you very much for watching. Take it easy, and see you in the next one.